The search for meaning, eh? You know, from 18 to 25, I did party a lot. I enjoyed myself, you know, had good times, but I realised that I've always been a deep thinker, and, you know, I've always asked myself these sort of questions like, why am I here? What's the meaning to why we do things? And then I think it come 3 years ago, I come across a book called A Man's Search for Meaning. It's from an author called Viktor E. Frankl. He's it's set back in World War II in the concentration camps, where Viktor Frankl used logotherapy and his teachings as a psychotherapist during one of the most horrific times in modern history. In a concentration camp where he was a prisoner, where he recounts his own experiences and what others faced in that harsh time. This book is about how people will find meaning to life, even in the harshest and terrible living conditions, when death, hunger, fear, all the terrible things that happened back in the day, death, they were unsure if they would ever be freed, but they still, and liberated to have a normal life, but they still managed to change their perception on suffering through finding reasons to live during that time. When I read this book, it did really speak to me. And there's a few points here I want to go through that have helped me even when I've had hard times. Nowhere near as hard as this, but we'll go into that. The first point I want to make is, I do think it's only you can save you, but you've got to do the work and seek the advice and support to help save yourself. What I mean by this is, we can only get advice from those who have done things before us, and it's our life. But we've got to find ways of what interests us and what doesn't, and apply it in a way that's what's right for us. You can use therapy as a way to find things. I'll be honest, I've done therapy before, but you can also journal, find interests. I think where I got a bit stuck at the start of the year, I found that I went through a bit of an existential crisis. I lost my purpose. I had no drive. I didn't really know what direction my life was going. And when you have no purpose and you don't know what to do, you can get lost and you can get stuck. And that's when obviously you can turn to bad habits through drinking, through alcohol. But in a way, I think having a reason to get up and a reason to do something is how you will move forward. So through, obviously find things. I've found running, I've found martial arts, and I've found jiu-jitsu, which has given me structure, it's given me routine. It took me a long time to get to that. You know, it's not an easy fix. It's not an easy find, you know. You will have to try things and put yourself out there and see what works for you. What next thing? He who has a why to live can bear with almost any how. Viktor Frankl uses a quote from Friedrich Nietzsche here, who was a German classic scholar, philosopher, and was one of the most influential thinkers in the 1800s. When I first read this quote a few years back, it did really speak to me. I know it has a deep tone to it, but it leads me thinking that if our why is strong enough to do anything in life, to live, to succeed, to create meaning to our life, then we can bear with almost any how. Just how Viktor Frankl and all the other survivalists of the Holocaust, if they managed to deal with such adversity and still be hopeful and optimistic in the future, then why can't we be with our challenges in our life? Even when it's nowhere near as painful as it was for them. It gives me hope. And this book is very inspirational to me from that. even with the quote abbreviated to "he who has a why," means that the why is the most important part, which gives us our reason to try. I reread this book again at the start of the year, and again it did fill me with hope. When things aren't going to how we seem or expected, we can draw strength from the people that came before us and who have gone through unsurmountable difficulties and triumphed. In the concentration camp, every circumstance conspires to make the prisoner lose his hold. All the familiar goals in life are snatched away. What remains is how one chooses their attitude in a given set of circumstances. This is recognised by the ancient Stoic philosophy, Stoicism, which I have followed for many years, probably from about 18, 19. And it's come into the books and mindsets of a lot of people I look up to and inspire me. Check it out. It's great material, and I've got a few books as well that are in part of this as well. It's all intertwines. The next point I want to go into is meditation. You know, for a few years, meditation I've been interested into, and done it myself. Not really spoke to it about a lot of people about it, but coming to the start of the year, I got back more into it using an app, and I'm going into 20 minutes a day in the morning. Then I do my cold shower, and it sets me up for the day. It's a routine. Now I need to do it, and I recommend get the app because it's easier, and you will it's guided rather than doing it yourself, and it will see how it fit. It gets you to come to terms with your thoughts, and knowing that a thought is just a thought, and you can deal with it and take back and actually observe your thoughts for what they are, and it's just energy. So check it out. The next thing I want to talk about is reflect on your passions. So like I said, you've got to have interests and hobbies in life, I think, to keep things from feeling very stuck and stable. Before I went travelling, I was saving a lot, and I didn't really have a lot of things I was doing. I was going to the gym, I was disciplined, wasn't really drinking, but you've got to, find things that really help you and inspire you. Like, I'm always listening to podcasts, always reading books, looking up to things online that move me and get me thinking, get me thinking about my next move, my next goal, and just trying to get inspiration from others to help motivate me, but ultimately it's for you to help yourself as well, even when things do get hard and you haven't got that drive there. But yeah, like I said, try something new. You never know where it might take you, and what you'll meet a community through it. Like I've met through a running club, through doing jiu-jitsu. I've met a few people there, some friends now, and I'm very enjoying both of them. I want to go into the fact of I think my next goal is a long distance trail run, which is 46k, a little bit longer than a marathon, but in Italy next March. So that's what I'm training and striving towards. But these are the things that this is what I want to find meaning in, is helping, doing hard things myself, but also trying to share document my journey in doing these fitness events, and saying how it's gone, and hoping to help inspire others to do the same. Third and final point I want to go into is time does heal. When you're in a bit of a depressed state, like I was at the start of the year, you don't know where to turn to. You can sort of forget all about where you was your whole life. You can put things into how you think it went, or you've just got to go with time does heal, this too shall pass. But you have to do the work and help yourself. Trust your instincts, and do the things that feel right for you. Like being able to say no to things that don't work. I've been able to now. I drink less alcohol than I did when I was younger. I do the things. I go for walks. I keep myself very active, and I'm very driven to saying no to things that don't serve me and people that don't serve me no more, and going to the things that inspire me and move me, and being able to have the confidence to know that, because it took me a long time to get to that level where you can just be there for yourself and know what's right for you. But this is what I do want to go into one more point, and this is based in the book, which Viktor Frankl used logotherapy. This is his practice because he was a therapist, and he taught his patients, which goes on to the theory that a man's search for meaning is the primary motivation in his life. This meaning is unique to him and should be the basis of where he finds his values and ideas, be it something he loves and wants to live, someone he loves and wants to live for, a passion or interest that he wants to dedicate his life to, which then can be used to find a meaning in the suffering that he encounters throughout his life. You know, in life, we are going to come through bad times. And, you know, it's I think for me, you know, I've had the best time. I've had a good life. I'll be honest, I haven't had as much difficulties as these people. But, you know, to find that even we can go through bad times, and they're the times where you're going to find out what you're about, and like whether or not you've got what it takes. And, you know, they're trying times, but they are the grit that you can go through to find to find that extra strength and draw back on them times. Now I look back at that time, and now I've survived it. I feel stronger in myself, the strongest I've ever felt. So yeah, I just want to say, you know, I'll sign off with that. You know, read the book. It's very good. Got some good concepts. Please like, subscribe if you like my stuff, guys. And yeah, tune into more videos.